When do we want it? When do we want it? Now! Guns down! Life up! Guns down! Life up! Full week!
SUV!
Full week!
SUV!
RGT!
Release the grip!
RGT!
Release the grip!
Guns down!
Guys down! Life up!
But every setback that you face is a preparation for a comeback, knowing that this is our comeback moment as a borough. And this is also Peace Week. It doesn't get lost on me that we are recognizing Peace Week NYC. 15 years, y'all. Shout out to my sister, Erica Ford.
And shout out to my sister, Vanessa Gibson, who helped us make it happen.
15 years, yeah.
Salute. Looking at all these beautiful faces. Right? This is why we do what we do. Right? It's each and every one of you young people that's in here. It's each and every one of you brothers and sisters on the front line that have dedicated your life to doing something different than satisfying your own personal needs. Right? And so, this is Peace Week. Tomorrow's the last day of Peace Week. Peace Week is from the 15th of January, Martin Luther King's actual birthday, 7 days to the 22nd of January every year. So one of the things that we want to move forward on, I see Nicole over there in the corner, right, is create a Peace Week committee that works all year just on Peace Week. Right? So that just like Fashion Week, just like Fleet Week, we can turn this city out for peace. So, we definitely want Jubilee, you know, that's what you do. Jubilee, just in case y'all don't know, right? Like I said, I'm gonna be 60 this year, right? And so we had the best parties, concerts, events. June Balloon was one of the main organizers back in my time for all of those events. And so what we want to create for Peace Week is the events that everybody wants to go to. Because what we have to realize is that the movement for peace is what it is in this country. Right? In the country. Ain't nobody messing with us. Peace is the cool. Right? I'm not even gonna say the new cool, right? And I started doing this work at 22 years old because a lot of my friends died in the 80s and the 90s from the crack epidemic or went to jail for 30 and 40 years, right? And some of them who went to jail, who just came home, they're all around the room, right? Soldiers, right? And so they came home to give back, to transform some of the negative things that happened in their youthful days. And what they're trying to say to each and every one of you, right, is that there's some mistakes you don't have to duplicate. There's some mistakes you don't have to duplicate. And you're gonna fall. You're gonna trip. You're gonna make mistakes. But they don't have to cost you your life. Right? And sometimes, I just recently wrote a book, right? And it's called A Peace Doctor's Playbook. Because every true champion has plays that they run to win their games. Even Kansas City, right? They can't go year after year to the Super Bowl without rocking plays, right? And one play is discipline. Right? They gotta have discipline to be on that field in that freezing weather with all type of audibles and stuff happening in their way. They gotta have discipline. In order to win, you gotta know what's going on in the world. If you don't know, if the only thing you know is what your 19-year-old self can make up, right? Or your 15-year-old self, or your 20-year-old self, or your 30-year-old self, if that's all you know, then you're limited in your worldview. Right? There's a world out there. And if we don't pay attention to the details, and it's all we care about is the band of TikTok then they gonna tick-tock yourself right off your block. They gonna tick-tock you to sleep. Right? So if you're not on your square and you don't know the power of marketing, you can't make power moves. Power moves controls universe. Power moves makes you a mogul. Power moves allows your family to have an economic wealth that you'll never understand. Because a lot of times we go outside, right, and we don't understand our power. And the brothers and sisters in the Guns Down Life Up program have the power to change the culture in New York City. And the reason why is because one of the most powerful things about Guns Down Life Up, it is a marketing movement, right? It is a marketing movement. And so when you get everyone on the Guns Down Life Up tip, then it can't be on another tip, right? And so our goal and objective in our work is to make this the new set, the new crew, the new movement that young people, old people, any people want to be part of. Right? Right? And then we want to make it where the elected officials, see, they gave 367 trillion, and I might be a couple of trillions off, to Ukraine for the war. We want the power of our voice to put 367 trillion into peace. Right? And the simple fact that everybody in the room ain't clapping for $367 trillion. Right? And I want to say, when Biden came into office, he said he was going to give $800 million to this community violence intervention work. We said that's not enough. Right? And we organized, and we got an ally under Ambassador Rice on his team. She championed our work, and when he left and it still wasn't enough, he put in $32 billion. Right? He was only putting in $800 million. But the power of our collective organizing made him step up. Right? And I really, when I was 22 years old, there was $0 in this work. Wasn't nobody talking about it. And it's the power of young people that change that dynamic. And so we do nothing else this Peace Week. I want y'all to understand the power of your movement and your voice. A lot of times we spend time looking at over there. And what we need to do is look in here. Because when you understand your power and your focus and you're using your 24 hours in the day intentionally, your steps are defined intentionally, you're going to get what you want. Vanessa Gibson, she can tell, she's standing right there. I harassed her for 15 years to get a peace mobile in this movement. I was everywhere she was. I had young people coming, I was organizing intentionally. It took 15 years, and it wasn't her, just elected officials. But we got not only one peace mobile, we got 5 across the city. Right? And so I want you to be intentional. I want you to be intentional. And the other thing is arrogance, ignorance, self-centeredness, impatientness, right? Because I was cursing all of them out. 62.5, right? But I didn't have to, they were my allies. And so sometimes you gotta stop and take a breath, right? The police used to have my picture in their book, and they would say, get her, because she's gonna ignite the rest of them. And they used to call me a skunk, because at that time I only had a gray streak. Right, and I had to say to myself, because it was on site. Like y'all say on site, I'm really on site. And I'm on site with the po-po, not my poo-poo, right? I was really on site. But I had to say to myself, right, what am I trying to achieve? Because not only did I get depleted and almost died last year, right, check the knowledge, right, almost died last year from the accumulated stress that I put on my body. So my whole immune, and I wish I had the picture of me that I showed folks earlier. I looked like a straight crackhead because I lost 62 pounds. Right? That's because I was fighting all the time. And so you don't know the impact, and there's doctors in the building. And I had to say to myself, what am I trying to accomplish? I had to change how I responded to how they respond to me. And so I went from fighting with the police on site to being part of the police advisory committee, to setting up a pilot with the police, to having them understand that we are co-producing public safety, and they had to respect our chief of streets. They had to change how they were related to young people in our district. Right? It wasn't no more coming and grabbing, arresting people, putting them in jail. We stopped all of that. Right? Because I had to change the understanding of the power that I had. And so sometimes it's not always about fighting. It's about who you fighting, how you fighting, and your power moves. Because it's a marathon, like Nipsey said. And when you fighting all the time, you're not, that ain't no, you depleting you and everybody around you. And so use your power effectively, understand the power of your movement, and move with intelligence and understanding of your greatness. Salute, kings and queens.